When people talk about success, they usually talk about young achievers, prodigies who make it big before turning 30. But what about those who spend half of their lives only chasing survival instead of chasing dreams? What about those who bloom late? This is the story of Ramesh Bhandari, a man who proved that dreams do not come with an expiry date. Ramesh was born in a dusty little village in Madhya Pradesh. His father was a farmer, struggling to feed the family. His mother stitched clothes for neighbors just to earn a little extra. Childhood for Ramesh was not about toys or school picnics. It was about carrying water pots from the well, about grazing buffaloes, and about helping his mother roll rotis. But there was something unusual about him. While most village boys dreamed of becoming truck drivers or getting government jobs, Ramesh dreamed of becoming an artist. He would sit for hours under the banyan tree, sketching with charcoal on old newspapers. Neighbors laughed at his useless drawings. He only smiled quietly. His father scolded him many times. "These lines will not feed your stomach. Stop wasting time." By the time Ramesh turned 15, poverty had its claws around him. His father's crops failed, loans piled up, and Ramesh had to drop out of school. The boy who dreamed in colors was forced to work in a tea stall, washing glasses and serving customers. At 18, Ramesh made a bold decision. He took a train to Indore with only 200 rupees in his pocket. He wanted to become an artist. But reality hit him harder than hunger. Nobody cared about his sketches. Gallery owners laughed and said, "Come back after you become famous." Broke and starving, Ramesh slept on railway platforms. After 1 week, he returned to his village defeated. His father called him a failure. Neighbors whispered, "See, dreams are only for rich people. Poor boys like him should know their limits." That night, Ramesh burned all his sketches in anger. Tears filled his eyes as flames swallowed his dreams. He promised himself that he would never pick up a pencil again. Life dragged him forward. He got a job as a helper in a small factory in the city. 12-hour shifts, oily hands, loud machines. There was no space for art, no space for dreams. He married at 25. By 30, he was the father of 2 children. By 40, his life looked like any other tired worker's life. Wake up, rush to work, come back, eat, sleep, repeat. His only joy was watching his children smile. But sometimes late at night, when the world was asleep, Ramesh would secretly draw on scraps of cardboard using his children's broken pencils. He hid those sketches in an old trunk, like guilty secrets. One day, his wife found them. She asked softly, "Why don't you try again?" He shook his head and replied, "It's too late. I'm too old now. Dreams expire." At 50, another blow came. His factory shut down. Suddenly, he was unemployed. While others panicked, Ramesh sat quietly in a park holding his old sketchbook. His hands shook, but his heart whispered, "What if I try again?" One day, while sketching children in the park, a woman stopped. She was a teacher at an art school. Looking at his sketch, she asked, "Who made this?" Ramesh hesitated, then said softly, "I did." She was stunned. "You have raw talent. Why don't you exhibit your work?" Ramesh laughed bitterly. "Madam, I am 50. Nobody wants an old man's art." She looked into his eyes and said words that changed his life. "Art does not care about age. Dreams do not expire." Encouraged by her, Ramesh started drawing again. This time, openly. This time, without shame. He painted village life, farmers in the fields, women carrying water, children flying kites. His art was raw. His art was honest. His art was filled with emotion. But the world was still not ready to accept him. When he tried to display his paintings at a local fair, organizers mocked him. "Who will buy an old man's paintings? Go home, uncle. This is for young artists." But Ramesh refused to give up. He borrowed 2,000 rupees, he bought cheap canvas and colors, and he set up a small stall by himself. For hours, nobody stopped. Then a young couple bought one painting for 150 rupees. That small sale lit a fire in him. Slowly things began to change. People started talking about the factory worker turned painter. Local newspapers wrote a small piece on him. At 52, he proves dreams don't expire. Art lovers noticed his work. His paintings were not polished like trained artists, but they carried a raw truth that touched people's hearts. Every stroke told the story of struggle, poverty, and hope. At 55, he held his first real exhibition in Indore. To his shock, every single painting was sold out. Some even went for thousands of rupees. For the first time in his life, Ramesh earned not only money but respect. But life tested him again. Tragedy struck. His wife, who had silently supported him through every struggle, fell seriously ill. Hospital bills drained all his savings. For a moment, he thought of selling his art supplies. But his wife held his hand and whispered, "Don't stop painting. Even if I go, let your art live." She passed away 6 months later. Broken, Ramesh stopped painting for nearly 1 year. The colors in his life had faded. Then one day, his daughter placed his old sketchbook in front of him. She said, "Papa, if you stop painting, you will lose Ma twice, once in death and once in memory. Paint, Papa, for her." Those words pierced his heart. With trembling hands, he picked up the brush again. This time, his paintings carried grief. They carried love. They carried a deep message about life. Ironically, those became his most powerful works. They were displayed in Mumbai, then Delhi, and finally in an international art fair. Buyers from abroad purchased his work for lakhs. The boy who once burned his sketches in shame was now celebrated as a late-blooming genius. At 65, Ramesh opened a free art school in his village for underprivileged children. He said, "I don't want another child to kill his dream because of poverty." When asked in an interview, "What is your biggest achievement?" he smiled and replied, "Not money, not fame. My biggest achievement is proving that dreams don't expire. They wait for you, whether you are 16 or 60. And what can we learn from his journey? 1. Age is just a number. Passion keeps you young. 2. Failures are fuel. Every rejection prepares you for a bigger opportunity. 3. Support matters. One encouraging voice can revive a dead dream. 4. Pain creates power. His grief gave depth to his art. 5. Dreams wait patiently. They may sleep for years, but they never die. Ramesh Bhandari's life is not just a biography. It is a mirror for anyone who thinks their time has passed. At 15, he was a dreamer. At 25, he was a struggler. At 40, he was invisible. At 50, he was reborn. At 65, he became a legend. His story shouts to the world, dreams don't expire. We do. So chase them before time runs out. How did you like the video? Let us know in the comments below. For more such inspirational stories, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.